Hey, we're back. Shagdog and Jammer fan.
Hey everybody, a happy after 4th of July. This is kind of the smegma that's left over after the orgy that is fireworks and, like hot dogs and fireworks and
Right.
just charcoal. It leaves a goo on the ground. You got to kind of mop up like a porn theater, and then it's
Yeah.
like it's been like 5 days. People have recovered enough; they want to drink again, and we're just bringing that to the people.
All right. My hair is all jacked up.
My hair's jacked up too, man. I've been growing it out. I look like a hippie liberal, but it's just because, dude, I want to look like like on just like jamming with the Eagles or something.
All right. Hey, yeah, you're looking like a young Don Henley. I'm drinking a nice Yuengling traditional lager, and it looks
Nice, man.
delicious. Beer being such a low ABV, it tastes like it would be a higher ABV. Yeah. It's almost a light beer. It's like 4.5, I think. 4.5. Yeah. But it tastes like, wow, it's got to be close to 5, 4 point, a regular lager type. Yeah.
This is a 4th of July seasonal. It's only available in the Firestone IPA pack. It's called Melon Conspiracy.
Yeah.
Part of their propagator series. And despite its namesake, there's not any actual melon as far as the fruit, but they use melon hops from Germany as well as mosaic hops. So it's actually an interesting little, doodad of a beer. And let's give it a whirl. I'm doing I'm doing like a down the side of the glass pour because I've been burned on the past couple beers I've reviewed where I've done a too much of a see, and then I that was the most gentle pour I could do, and it still has a pretty big head. But anyways,
Yeah.
a very golden rod wheat color. The malts, it's 2 row oats and special roasted blonde oats is what this is made of, and you can kind of the special roasted blonde oats. You can kind of see that golden. There's a goldenness to that, and this is gonna be mostly melon hops with mosaic in the background for balance. So this is a Huel melon hops, which is part of the Hallertau German family. So this is kind of like an IPA but done with German hops.
Hmm.
Hmm. You know what? You know how sometimes you get that big blast of citrus and pine and resin and it's overwhelming? This smells like a melony garden of goodness.
Wow. A
And this
Melanie
is six
Garden of Goodness.
this is 6.0% Shagdog, so it's not quite as boozy as some of the IPAs, but I will tell you that there's no pine, there's no bitterness, like a toffee caramel bitterness. It's inviting. It smells like cucumber and melon. And then so the mosaic gives it a little bit of floral citrusness, but it's like a juice. It's like a juiciness. So there's like
Yeah.
the melon, and then it's backed up with the juiciness. I don't know if you can see anything online about this beer. I know it's definitely on Beer Advocate.
What's the
Melon
name of it
Conspiracy.
again?
Melon Conspiracy from Firestone Walker.
Melon Conspiracy.
I saw quite a lot of reviews, so I'm curious if you can see if anybody's back. I didn't read any of them. I didn't want to taint myself, but I'm
Yeah.
curious if people are getting this like melon with like a grassy like session ability to it.
Uh, Beer Advocate has an NA 6% American IPA. No notes. It only has one review on there.
Huh.
That guy gave it a 4 out of 5. On May 3rd, 2022. Pours a thin, hazy, deep Gulf Virgin on opaque minus with good clarity. Let's see what he says about the taste. 6%, whatever. Overall, this beer tastes very good. Yet another hazy light, barely hazy, and a thin, watery body. A NEPA in name only, which is fine by me. Even
I
the mosaic plays nice with the melon hops. No off-putting aromas or taste. My score is somewhat low because the beer is missing half the style criteria. And
I mean, maybe it sounds so didn't give us a lot of information, but remember I was just telling you about the mosaic hops interchanging with those melon hops. I will
Yeah.
say the body's a little bit thin. I mean, it looks like a thick beer, but you know what? The thin body plays good with the melon. I don't know about you, Shagdog, but when I think melon, I don't think about something heavy and chunky. I want something light and across the
Well,
top,
it
right?
depends on her body, but yeah, I like some chunky melons too.
But yeah, it's got some dankness, and we always argue, me, you, and Jammer, about what dank means. You guys think it's like a dirty, dank dish rag that's been
Yeah,
sitting in a
like
basement. For me,
a
dank
damp basement.
means
Yeah,
like
we're old
cannabis.
school. We're gonna keep our
Yeah,
dank.
it mean to me, one of these young whippersnappers, dank means like a pineapple-y cannabis aroma, like it's like dank fruit, dank cannabis,
Oh,
like
like
it's
a
like
pretty
skunky.
basement.
It's like skunky. It's like when you go in somebody's car and you're like, oh shit, they've been smoking weed in here. That's dank, dude. It's just got like that dank,
Oh,
pungent, skunky
yeah,
aroma.
dank to me is more of a moist basement
Yeah,
cellar.
I've always
Yeah,
thought of that as damp. And I've had a lot of beers that you're talking
yeah,
about where it's a cellar thing, but to me that actually they call that barnyard or farmhouse funk or yeasty. To me, there's different descriptors, but I like that we're not all on the same page though, because it's drinking beer is just an adventure.
yeah. Surprisingly, here with this traditional lager, it does have a combination of cluster and cascade hops. True Original delivers a well balanced taste with distinct character born from a historic recipe as resurrected in 1907. So it does have cascade hops in here. Huh? It's probably not a
Cascade.
lot. Huh?
Hmm. It sounds like a really good beer though.
You never had it?
I don't see a lot of Yuengling in these parts.
Yeah.
Being in Colorado, I get a lot of craft beer here, but I think that like Yuengling probably decided to cut their losses and not do anything here because like it's so competitive, dude. Remember that
Yeah.
crazy moose lager I brought on? Like, dude,
Huh?
there's always like some independent craft brew that's always trying to pump out a cheap
Yeah.
lager that's always going to compete with Yuengling. And you know what? PBR does horrible out here. PBR has lost so much money in Colorado trying to, um, because
Yeah.
there's always a local beer that'll just be better for the same
Yeah.
price,
And if
basically.
somebody wants an adjunct lager, be in Colorado, they probably go with Coors.
Or just either Coors or just one of the like. There's craft breweries doing adjunct lagers now,
Oh,
basically
really?
too, dude. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
off labeling it like that. Moose beer was like an off label, like and let's face it, if you're based in the state, your operating costs are going to be lower distributing it with the state. So PBR trying to ship it over here,
Yeah.
especially with gas prices, you know, it's man, when I see PBR, dude, it's like 17.99 a 12 pack or something, and I'm like, fuck you. Like I can get for a
Yeah.
dollar more, I can get a 30 pack of like something, or I can get a craft lager for 20 or whatever, like
That's because a
um
few years back, the hipster became a hipster beer somehow. I don't know
yeah.
how, but or whatever, like hip country
And
too.
they
I see some country guys, but they're more of the hip country, not real redneck
yeah,
hillbilly country, but the hip country people drinking it too. Yeah, I don't
yeah.
know why. I think I'd rather have Schlitz when they had the Schlitz Gusto the first year it came out. I think they cheapened that up already too, though, because last time me and Jammer had it, it didn't taste quite as good as it did back in like 2012, 13, whenever the hell we
Yeah.
first got it. But yeah, Yingling, back when we first started doing beer reviews, they were only in like 10 different states, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
12 and up to 14. I think they're up to 16 or 18 states now. So it might be coming to Colorado. I don't know. Texas just got it. So I don't know if maybe
But
they the brewery.
I've been like watching them, and I really think it's they're going to the states that don't have as much of a craft brew presence. Honestly, they're kind of going to the more red Republican states because I feel like, not to bring in politics, but I feel like states that are more liberal seem to have more breweries, and that just
What's
makes sense because
yeah. Well,
consider this.
I mean, Florida has quite a bit of breweries for being well. It's a
Sure.
Republican state, but the major cities are Democrat. But I guess all the Republicans in the smaller towns and the other, because Tampa.
Yeah.
St. Pete,
No, there's
Democrat.
definitely some conundrums in my theory. It's not 100% correct, and I'm not
Right.
trying to bash
Conundrums. I like that.
conservatives. You know me, Shagdog. I'm always trying to keep it fair and balanced. Actually,
Yeah.
fair and balanced. Here on the Spitter Swallow Beer Review channel.
What was I going to Google? I can't remember now. Shit. Oh, well.
Shit.
Oh,
It was
something
something
about
about a beer style or something. Yeah.
maybe something about Yuengling or something being in Colorado, or I don't
Yeah,
know.
just like I don't think they're in
Will
Colorado.
Yuengling ever be in Colorado?
Probably not because of what I said. Yeah.
Will
But they
Yuengling
might. I
Lager
mean, I
ever
think
be
they would
in
lose. No,
Colorado?
you're right. We're talking about how PBR lost a bunch of money in Colorado because they're just it's too expensive. They're selling it for too much.
Yeah. While beer from the country's always brewery can be hard to come by in Colorado, that might not be the case for long. Molson Coors has announced the launch of a joint venture in partnership with Yuengling, aimed at expanding Yuengling's current 22-state distribution network further west.
Mm,
So they're doing a venture with Molson Coors, which isn't good because Miller did that too, and now Miller's owned by Molson Coors, right?
yeah.
So
Didn't they do a Hershey's chocolate beer though?
yeah, the chocolate, the Bach, not the Bach, the port. It's a porter. Yeah, it's their porter.
Yeah.
They just added.
So I
It tastes
missed
like
out on
they
that.
added.
A lot of people really like that beer, and I didn't get it out here. But
Yeah, to me it tastes like Hershey syrup, but it was all right. I'd rather drink their black and tan or their porter, and then you can put some Hershey syrup in it yourself.
so man, this beer's hilarious. It has the Illuminati eye on it. It's called Melon Conspiracy, and it's like totally like it has an Austin Powers font. It just totally feels like a 1960s,
Yeah, it looks good. I
70s
like the label.
kind of, yeah. And you know what? It only has two hops in the whole beer. Melon. It's just called Melon. It's called Huel Melon if you want the full name. And it's based off Hallertau. Can you see if you can look up the Huel Melon hop? Like I think it's like Huell. It's like Huel Melon, or maybe it's just the melon hop. But that's the main hop in this. It's a very interesting because they haven't added any fruit or melon or artificial flavor to this.
Yeah, it's a new variety from Germany with distinctive honeydew melon and strawberry aroma. The variety was bred at Hull and released in 2012.
Yeah,
Rugby.
rugby. But that's pretty cool though, right? Like that
German.
there's something that could be.
And it has the Motley Crue thing too, the two dots over to U, Hull, but it has a two dot thing. It's
Yeah. You know what? It feels 80s to me somehow, and I think you described that. I don't know how. It's like it's somehow like connecting to Motley Crue. Like
yeah.
it's somehow over. Like, have you been watching Stranger Things on Netflix? Do you have Netflix, Shagdog?
Oh yeah, I wish Jammer was on here with us because on a voice message he sent me the other day, he talked about he did a review on all four seasons. I was like, man, you should have saved that for the damn drinking and thinking.
Uh,
That was really good. And I added my 2 cents in too. I said, man, we're going to do that. You're going to talk about the thing, and I'll just add little tidbits. You do most of the talking.
I guess I was talking about the Master of Puppets when the bat things were coming in and the
Oh yeah,
light.
that was pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, dude. And there's other parts that are good too, but I thought about you when the heavy metal. He's like sitting there like jamming out to Master of Puppets, dude, and they're like
Yeah,
distracting with that things, dude.
yeah.
Spoilers, you know.
Yeah, it was Jammer's review of the whole because he's gradually watched season 1 through 3, and he just went ahead and watched season 4.
Yeah.
So he watched all four. Finally, never watched it before. Watched all 4 seasons within the last few months, and he gave a big review on it. Matter of fact, I could play it, but it's so long. I said, "Well, we got to break it down a little bit." But it was a really good review on all the seasons. So it got kind of political and woke and a whole bunch of
Uh,
stuff too. And it was funny though. And then I threw
well,
my 2 cents
I'll
in
keep this
too.
on the beer topic, dude. This is a beer guitar solo to melon flavor. I mean, it sounds like an interesting hop, right? Instead of being piney or citrusy or having these, it really just smells like those watermelon Jolly Ranchers when we were kids.
Yeah,
It's like that, but if you can imagine something that has like if you were eating one of those in somebody that just cut their lawn, like where you're sitting in the lawn and you smell the fresh cut grass, and then you have that kind of candied watermelon wafting off that, those big Jolly Ranchers. Remember they came in those it was like a it looked like it was like a stick. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like right, you know what I'm talking about? It was
Yeah.
like a Laffy Tat, like or like a Snickers bar sized. They weren't these little individual wrap Jolly Ranchers you see now. It was like a little bar. Like it's just like a candied Jolly Rancher with like a grassiness. I mean, doesn't that sound good?
Yeah, and they said the hop is like a honeydew and strawberry mix or
I
something.
get it, dude. It's like it's like so. It's I do get the honeydew now that you're saying it.
Yeah,
Honeydew
like a
has such a
honeydew
certain
melon.
tanginess to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, check out even the side of the can, man. Check this out. Hold on. It talks like it shows the hops that they use. Hold on. See hops, melon, and mosaic.
Yeah. As beer before glory. I guess that's in German too, right? Naki et
Yeah,
tit, tit, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, I wish. Where's that made at?
California,
No.
Firestone Walker. It's in Paso Robles, California. One of those liberal, super liberal towns, guy.
Yeah, I wonder if
Super
we
liberal area.
Firestone Walker sounds familiar. I
So
don't know.
I don't think you guys get so in Colorado we get a lot of Firestone Walker. When I was in Arizona, there was a lot of Firestone Walker. Like Firestone Walker seems to target the Southwest, especially states that don't have a lot of like distribution of good craft beer. But they still bring some fire. So I'm happy to have some of their beer on your channel, man.
Yeah, the one sounds familiar. I can't see it now. Hopnosis. That one, maybe we got that one. Is that one of their main ones?
That
Hopnosis.
was part of this mix pack. I have some Hopnosis in the fridge right now.
I wonder if that's the only one I've seen before because it sounds familiar and looks familiar.
So Union Jack, which is in this pack, is their that's their fat tire. That's their flagship is Union Jack IPA.
Huh. Yeah, I've never seen that one.
And then they have like Mindscape or Mind something like it's
I
a
got a
Hazy
bunch of mine ones. Yeah, Mine Haze IPA,
Mind
Mine
Haze
Haze
IPA.
Double
Yeah,
IPA.
that was in the pack too. That's also that's like their Sierra Nevada Pale Ale kind of like
Hmm.
stuff that they sell a lot of. But this had two. This had the Hopnosis, which is
Yeah, they
pretty
got
hard to find. And then it had this guy, the Melon Conspiracy, which is it's just a cool can, man. And it's a cool idea. I mean, I've never seen somebody use these melon hops like to where it's like like
hmm.
I've heard your complaints about IPAs, dude, and I think you would like this Shagdog because it's smoother. It's like a smoother melon flavor.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed because I don't know if there's something wrong with my fridge or I didn't have the beer out that long, but it feels a little warm. Not
It's
warm,
just
warm,
because it's
but
hot as fuck, dude. I don't know about Florida, but it's 100 fucking degrees here today in Colorado.
I don't know about Florida either, but it's pretty hot here in South
Oh wait,
Carolina.
shit. Never mind. Sorry. You're in
Yeah, it's
South
warm.
Carolina or North Carolina?
South Carolina. Yeah.
That's what I thought. Okay, I don't know why I thought North Carolina for a minute, but yeah. Shit. But you keep moving closer to me, man. Like we could maybe drive and meet in the middle, you know?
Yeah. I don't know where the middle would be. Let's see. Let's
Or
Google it.
I was thinking, or get this, man, you fly in, but then I pay for us to get a 2-room suite at a nice hotel in Denver. You just fly in, and instead of me paying gas, I pay for lodgings, and we just dude. Denver has like 120 breweries in Denver, dude. It's one of the most brewery heavy cities in the world, dude. And we could just there's legal weed. We could just
What
like
town are
smoke
you
weed.
in?
I'm in Fort Collins. I'm basically north of Denver. It's
Okay.
kind of like it's sort of like a progressive mountain village.
A progressive mountain village.
There's tons of amenities, but it also feels like a small town. So it's very popular, and the fucking housing prices here are ridiculous. Luckily, my girlfriend got in. I'm like paying her rent, living with her right now, but luckily she got in like before it blew up, right? So she's benefiting off of it, but it's nuts, dude. Like
Hey,
I'm talking to houses that people bought 10 years ago for 200 being worth 6 or 700 now.
oh,
So I will say, since you just drank the rest of your beer, Shagdog, I will say, so check this out. See how much I have left here, right?
mhm.
So this stuff is so smooth. This is probably the smoothest IPA I've ever had, man. Because watch this. Look how easily this goes down. It's just like drinking flowers.
Just like drinking what?
like flat, like rose water, like
Oh,
melon water.
yeah.
I mean, you saw that, right? Did I seem like I was like this is 60 IBU? Did I seem like I was choking that down? It just went
It's
down.
it looks like a blind melon now.
I like the reference. Um, but it's cool. It's a cool idea, man. I like that there are these hops that don't taste like anything you've ever understood about hops, right?
Hmm.
Because I feel like you
Since
know, I
this
feel like
wasn't an
like
official beer review, that's the first time you're doing this beer on this channel. So you're gonna give it a grade or what?
yeah, I should because I think you should put the beer name in the
You
you
should have
know.
told me because I thought we were just drinking and thinking or just hanging out drinking. You should tell me you had a
Well,
new
yeah.
beer.
So I'll show the label one more time. Melon Conspiracy. This just came out. Like you were looking. There's like one person on the internet in
Yeah.
total, and Firestone Walker has been bought out by InBev. So this is a huge international beer, and I am like the second person online to be reviewing this ever in the history of this beer.
Hmm.
On the Spitter Swallow Beer Review channel with Shagdog exclusive. Everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Woo! Rugby.
Rugby. Yeah.
Um,
I don't think many people go on Beer Advocate anymore and grade as beers like they used to either. Even though that is a newer beer.
Untapped. If you went to Untapped, I went to Untapped to check this out. So people have drank this on Untapped, and I think it's like an
Yeah.
8.5 or I mean a 4.5 or whatever they do. It's like
Yeah.
it's got a good score.
Yeah.
But
I'm a Beer Advocate fan, but it's going downhill though.
um, I'm gonna I'm gonna give this kind of a controversial score. I'm gonna say it's a B, but it's also a swaff. So it's not the best beer you ever have, but at the same time, man, the drinkability. I don't care what you say. It's got a swaff, right? Because this like the second score on Spitter Smaller Beer Review is about how it goes down, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
So I give
it's
it a
really your drinkability. Wow, it really hits the spot. Whatever
yeah.
it is.
And this is sitting in my stomach really good. So I'm gonna give it a B and a swaff, which is kind of like a unicorn score.
Yeah,
That's what I'm going with, man.
that's good. Yeah, we actually came out with a grading system, but it was too much work because it had to.
Yeah,
But it was a point system, and we graded on everything: smell, how it
yeah,
looks, uh, the head, everything. And we put the label in for a small point, a small little point percentage. Didn't really
yeah.
affect it too much, but we gave it 1 through 5 or whatever. And then I matched that with the okay. If it's this type of score, it gets a swallow. If it's this score, it gets a quarter. If it's this, and it actually was matching up good from what we okay. Give it what you think you'd give it, Jammer. And I was like, okay, well, if you give it that in our scoring system, it's the same thing. We were pretty close to what the scoring
Yeah,
system
to what
was.
they were saying. Yeah.
But when we tried doing it for a couple of beer reviews, he had to edit it out. Okay, let's see what we give it. What do you give it on this? It was like a 1 through 5 for each thing, and or 1 through 10 or something. I forget what it was, but then you average it out. It was just taking too long. And I was like, yeah, I just supposed to fucking do it off the top of the head, trying to write stuff down and all that. But it was great. But that's what I was trying to mention because of Sworder, Swaff, and all that. It
Yeah.
evened out pretty good. Maybe I should start doing that myself when I do solo videos.
Like a swaff is a pretty good compliment on the drinkability, right? Like I would say that
Yeah,
this beer, it just goes down so smooth because it doesn't have like it's actually one of the things you hate about IPA Shag Dog. You hate that astringency that like lingers in the background, right? That like hits you in the back of the throat and the palate. Yeah, you
yeah,
seem to not like that, and this doesn't have that. This is just like it just tastes like melon, and then you're like, cool. You
yeah.
can so in the back of the throat, you can still kind of feel the bitterness on the back of the throat and the tongue. You can still kind of taste that there's hops there, which is good because it's not like a sickly sweet watermelon flavor. It's kind of like this like dry kind of like, thing. So,
Yeah, that's awesome.
but I have the hopnosis from this pack. So if you want to do another drinking and thinking, we can throw down, but we haven't done any thinking. This has only been drinking so far.
Yeah, well, let's do it as a beer review. So, you're gonna do the
Do it
hop
as a beer
Nelson?
review. You reviewed your beer very well, and so did I. I mean, like this just feels like a beer review.
Yeah, I mean, I just reviewed this the other day, so I didn't go really full in detail, but
I
I think
feel
I
like you went pretty detailed, dude. You
yeah,
talked about it for, you know what, Shagdog? So here's the thing. Here's what people want to see when they see a beer review. They want to see somebody reacting in a real situation, not being like, "Oh, I get this caramel malt from blah blah blah, and it smells like it also has some two row and English ale yeast." People want to see somebody fucking real who goes to a work every day, who works fucking harder than all these pussy ass millennial kids. You're fucking in your 50s, sorry, late 40s, and
50.
sorry, I'm giving you shit, man. Sorry, that was me. Just like
Yeah,
I'm turning 40
I mean, yeah,
in like,
you could basically say late 40s, early 50s. Yeah,
so I'm turning 40 in 19 days. I'm on my countdown.
yeah,
Um
all downhill
but
now.
so right now I'm in my 30s. If anybody fucks with me, I'm like, "Hey, I'm a 30-year-old. I'm in my early 30s."
Yeah.
Even though I'm about to
Actually,
turn
they say
50.
you should add years as a man. You should, when someone asks you how old you are, add 5 years because they're
Yeah,
like,
I'm
"Wow, you look
57,
pretty good for a
bitch.
45-year-old." Yeah. If I said 55-year-old, like, "Wow,
Yeah.
you look good for a 55-year-old." Yeah.
But Shagdog, I will say that you have a good head of hair for your age, man. And
I
and I
should take
know
it
that
back
you don't
though.
dye your
Yeah.
hair because no, but you know what? You don't dye your hair because you would think that was gay. I know that you would be like, "Oh, that's too gay.
Right.
I'm not going to dye my hair."
I think Jammer used to
So,
dye his.
you know what? For all natural color, you're looking fucking really good,
Yeah.
Shagdog. I
I
will
mean,
just like,
it's I got gray, but at least I got a little bit of brown
it's
still in
not,
there or
no,
whatever.
it doesn't on camera. You can't even tell. I mean, for like you know what, dude? I've never dyed my hair once in my life either. So like I'm same thing, man. And the
Yeah,
whole
I've been
reason
thinking
I'm
about
growing my
shaving
hair
it,
out,
but
so I look better with a closer cropped haircut. But this is like my last time I can grow my hair out. You know what I mean? So I'm
yeah.
going for like one last hurrah. Before I just like I'm just gonna cut
I'm
my hair
hoping I
short.
go bald quicker because when I go bald, I get the whole bald thing here going on. I want to
Yeah.
do a bald mullet, where
Oh
like
yeah, the bald bullet's great.
yeah, I can do a ponytail if I want, or with it, or pigtails.
But before we ruin this review, because I feel like all that should be kept in this review, because it's part of like assessing these beers. I feel. Let's just close it up, man. And what's your final thoughts on your beer? What's your final thoughts on the Yingling?
The Yuengling, I like it. I mean, the Yuengling traditional lager. It's always been a staple to any Floridians because it's different. I was talking about this the other day in my video. Floridians are proud of Yuengling around the Tampa area because there's a
Yeah,
brewery in Tampa, and they're like, yeah,
yeah,
I drink fucking Yuengling. We're Florida, even though it's a Pennsylvania beer, but they got a brewery there. But if you talk to people, I lived in Pennsylvania. They're only about an hour away from Pottsville.
yeah,
Oh, that Yuengling beer sucks. That there's no pride in it at all. I mean, of course, it's not made in their town. It's made in some towns an hour away, but they're like, oh, that Yuengling sucks. But the difference in Florida, at least around the Tampa area, people love it. But it's a little bit more pride. That's our beer.
yeah.
That's how I get people, friends that I'm still friends with in Pennsylvania say that beer sucks. So I'm not saying all Pennsylvanians, but my friends in Pennsylvania. You always got a friend in Pennsylvania.
So all right, talk to you soon, bro.
All right. I, all right. We'll see you on the next one.